That's why we do with the radio. Absolutely. We need to win. Right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. She asked about Mariah. Yes, that question is so eloquent. It's, okay. It was very eloquent. Oh, God. Well, first of all, Larry, wasn't a woman second. I really recall that. I think that Mariah has a big voice. I think she's a good singer. Yeah. I think that Mariah is Mariah, and that's what she should be known for her work, and not for being compared or sounding like me. You know, I don't really hear it. You know, there are a few expressions, you know, accent, you know, tones and inflections. So she does a little bit of that. I think she becomes in some areas, but she doesn't really. I could imagine her singing Craig. Mariah's music, or when she first came along, or anything like this. Yeah. Yeah. I could imagine her singing Vision of Love. Oh. I could imagine Miss Whitney Houston singing Vision of Love. First of all, I love hearing other artists sing other artists' songs. So I love to hear artists sing other artists. Thank you. You are an amazing friend. You you are my friend. I never knew it to be. Father God, we thank you for the food about this day. Let me put another about it. Amen. Amen. My friend. Oh, might not say a word, but I feel your presence. When I know that I'm there, yeah. I'm my friend. I never knew it to be. I think Ledisi could do a tribute to Patty. Now, I don't think she could do a biopic. Well, they don't have to necessarily go because Angela Bassett. She did. She doesn't look like her. No, but I felt right. She embodied her. But I had been home. I don't know what you working over there in the house. Okay, get to it. As long as they take care of the inmate in a guard, they should raise the alarm. I said, did I get to the bottom? All these incense and posters and shit around here. That's why I'm stay back. But yeah, I think that if Ledisi can embody Patty, it's the word. Because Ledisi definitely got the pipe. I was thinking the other day, we never put Tony Braxton on the other day. Tony Braxton can never go. No, she can't. Her catalog is split. There's Braxton can never go. We can never go. Tony can never go. I was listening to Tony Braxton the other night. Maybe every album she got something. Why are you calling me home? Why you never home? We're up and down the street. Now, Anita Baker can't be careful with these at all. Anita Baker don't play with y'all. When people say they don't like Anita Baker, I'm like, don't they? Protect yourselves. Don't you ever go. You will always be my train.
I thought they were sending professionals. I collaborate and nearly get a ship for their pleasure.
What she
Just
said,
give me...
I won't be neglected.
There
I
are some
won't be
screws I hope you run
denied.
into.
The pleasures
Let's
of
go!
your kiss. Oh, the pleasures of your smile. I treat you faithful friend. I'll always be here just because I love you. It doesn't come on this year.
You better
So
have a
long.
good life! Paycheck is in your hands, transporter. Protect Reshkovsky.
So long. She says, just because I love you doesn't mean I won't disappear. We just talked about that. Right. That's right. Anita was out playing. When I said that lady wrote, that very, I can remember stories, those things my mama said. She told me everything, little fairy tales.
Since the pandemic.
You talked about consumer confidence and how low it is. I'm not sure people are upset about policy. I think they're more upset about this lack of trust. What happened this week was a real breakdown.
Now, after this week's breakdown, we did see stocks rally today, a rare and welcome sight after all the red. But that's cold comfort right now because some of the biggest names on Wall Street are worried the damage has already been done. BlackRock CEO today went there with the R word.
I think we're very close, if not in a recession now. This is not a pandemic. This is not a financial crisis. This is something that we've created.
And you know what's causing a lot of the concern? It's the freak out in the bond market. And you've probably seen your crazy uncle turned now finance expert tweet about it this week. But thankfully for us, we have actual experts with whiteboards. Usually, I'm underlining your bond market, right? People are going to be, they're all scared of stocks, they're scared of whatever bonds are going to go up. More demand for debt means you don't have to pay as much for it, interest rates go down. That's the whole thing. That's the way the system works. That's it. Classic. Here's what happened this week. Broken. Now, Trump might want to erase her to Aaron's whiteboard because he's shrugging it off. He now says it wasn't the panic in the bond market that led him to do a pause this week. And in fact, tonight he's saying
the bond market is so good. They had a little bump it, but they saw that coming very quickly. I'm very good with that stuff.
big picture now. Everyone is racing to figure out how, if, and when this gets fixed. China isn't backing down. In fact, they retaliated today with 125% tariffs on American goods. Of course, to tell CNN, the U.S. has made it clear to China that they should call Trump.
Is it up to President Xi to pick up the phone? I guess so. Whatever it is, but we have a lot of good. It's not just China. And, but whatever it is in a very good position.
Joining the Matter Public Advisor, Grover, the author of the new book, Fight, Inside the Wildest Battle for the White House, Jonathan Allen, former Democratic congressman from New Jersey, and senior economics reporter.
They don't know nothing about that. They don't. Like you young children, Mo. I'm glad you acknowledge. No, Mo was over there thanking us. So, right. But most definitely heard that in Africa. Right. But they don't know anything about these kind of lyrics. That kind of instrumentation. In America? Giving you the best that I got? Really? I wanna do good, feel right. With love, and I, you understand what I'm saying? Shit, let me come on the that house is getting I don't give a fuck what kind of mood you in, that house is getting clean, shit. I'm trying to tell you. Top to bottom. Bitch, you been there like, damn, I did all this today? And I said this before. It's spicy, bitch, but it's good. But I said before, If you don't know Anita Baker, your mama probably kept a dirty ass house.
Professionals. I collaborate and
Oh my
nearly
God.
get a ship for the pleasure.
Break like that.
Just
If you don't know Anita Baker, your mama probably kept a filthy ass house. I'm gonna say something to your man. Go ahead. Anita Baker catalog is deep. Shit is. It the fuck is. Anita Baker did not play. Now Whitney sold more albums than you can star. But in terms of songs, Anita Baker's catalog is deep. You better know it. You better know it. That Gets to be the best that I got. How did that start? Is there something I can do? Everything. I don't think I ever do something like that. I don't just make a song like that. I don't think I would ever, but still, but sometimes I'm down. And she was pregnant. And I bet on, and I would say, I bet on this way, I keep on fighting. If y'all don't know Anita Baker, you better go back to Sweet Love, bitch. That's the first album. Some of them girls only know Sweet Love because Beyonce did. I just want to know, what have you done to me? I cannot sleep, and I'm not but I don't know what to do, cause all the people, all of you. That song is on Body and Soul, for those who don't know. And you did not play with y'all. I'm trying to tell you, like that lady's catalog. I love you just because. I love you just because.
Do this quick, come on.
You did right, but yeah. Whitney shut him down. Whitney shut him down. You did. Now, bitch, Mickey came through. Mickey Howard did. She came through. Mickey Howard did. So Whitney said, no, so Whitney came and said, all of these girls have a team. Right. Like, you deserve it. When you started this, when all of these girls have a team. I apologize. I apologize. Yeah, girl. I wanna get, I gotta get. That I apologize by Anita Baker did not play. I'm just saying, like, but I'm telling you, that Mickey, she told that Mickey girl, don't get this is the only time that you're gonna get this award, girl. Hold it tight. There, my love.
You're going the way you came in. Let's go.
There's a light that can sunshine until there's a light. What's called it? Yes. This is a time to gather gas. There's a light. And she said, what's this song again? Start it again. There's a light. Them drugs was fucking fun. I sit up there and I look at how they devastated my witness. Those drugs killed my witness cat bag.
Yes, they did.
Those drugs killed my witness cat bag.
I thought you said it was a cigarette.
It was that too, but those drugs had a hold on us. Something got a hold of me.
Yes, God. It's like I sometimes wonder, like, who if she had never gotten on those drugs.
Who, Mickey?
Yeah.
Or what's her name too? Mickey Howard. Yeah, that nigga punched on her face. Oh, that dude. She went out there and beat up the man at the record label. And he hit her in her motherfucking face. Her voice changed after that.
That Gerald Levert was a mess in her life too now.
Levert had a voice though.
He did.
Yeah. That's what I be saying about those being coming into your fucking life.
Tearing up your career.
Tearing to your life up. And people was thinking that it was body.
We don't have any napkins, but we do have toilet paper.
Oh yeah, there's always gonna be a toilet tissue here. I need you to understand there's gonna always be a toilet tissue. Because toilet tissue picks down. It's the window picker out there. But
Mickey also had Love and the New Management. And Baby Be Mine. Baby Be Mine was
I really wanna get to know me.
Yeah. That's how to get it.
This ain't no bother me tonight. Oh my God. There's no bother me tonight, honey.
Oh God.
It's gonna force you later tonight, honey. Oh.
Did you piss Miss Mary off?
She knows I like to spicy.
I do too.
Oh.
That's good. But to your point, I think these young kids, they don't have music like this. Now the closest they gonna get is like a Jasmine Sullivan, the Jasmine Rice. What? You not a Jasmine Sullivan fan? I think so too. I think she would have been a better. But see, my thing is, I wonder if they didn't choose her because maybe she's not an actor. Maybe she doesn't want to.
Well, she was in that show. That girl on that show.
Yeah, but that's different. They want somebody to find it.
She would have been the better of these two.
Then who? Cynthia Erivo?
No, Cynthia Erivo.
Or Jennifer Hudson?
Jennifer Hudson.
Okay, let me ask you this. There's a lot of conversation on social media where a lot of black folks don't like the idea of black British actors playing black historical roles, like David Oyelowo played Dr. King, Cynthia Erivo played Luther, and Harriet Tubman. So, like, how do you feel about this? There's a lot of people feel like, why they can't find like a black American actor, whatever you like. What do you think?
Give a job to the girl that's qualified.
I get that, and I agree with that too. Now, yeah, Jasmine Sullivan should definitely play on Silver Heights.
Well, not tall enough.
He looks like her.
Not big enough. Tall enough. Not big enough. I wouldn't believe it.
But if she did play Philip Hyman, they would have to pull that vibrato out of her.
Phyllis Hyman was a big woman.
Right. Then that was delusional. I remember that.
I'll put that over there for me.
Aretha was really feeling herself. She had a very heightened sense of self. But I do agree, like, I think they should get the most, you don't think Hollywood has to go this thing? So you mean to tell me you don't think Halle Berry would have targeted for Aretha? She don't even look like Aretha.
Who don't? Bitch, Holly and Aretha look like twin sisters, bitch. You ain't never seen. You ain't seen Holly Aretha when she was young, bitch. That wasn't that small. It still wasn't that small, man. Let's be real. Aretha was never a small girl.
Aretha was small when she was younger, but they don't look alike.
She wasn't Halle Berry small.
She was small. Aretha was small.
Was. Don't let them hip hop fool you, bitch.
Yeah, Aretha was small.
Because I was a small girl at one point, too. Bitch, when that money kick in and them hair pops get real good, you can get those premium cuts. You get those premium cuts. You can have more, you can double up your portions. Something about that money can make you double up your portion. Instead of having one sandwich, you can have three.
And then you got a bunch of people waiting on you hand and foot.
You kick your feet up, bitch.
But I do understand where, like, some people feel like because they're British or, from the UK or wherever, that they haven't really, they don't really understand the Black American struggle. So why would they play those certain roles? Kind of in the vein of, remember when we talked about J-Lo playing Selena? J-Lo was Puerto Rican, Selena was Mexican. A lot of Mexican people...
I know they did feel away with me, so I want to explain this to you.
Or, let me say this, let me say that. Or like, what was that white woman's name? Felicity Huffman, maybe? She played that trans woman. I think it was called, what was that movie called? Trans America or something like that? Oh, yeah, that years ago. And a lot of people trans felt away. They felt like we got a trans girl.
Well, they should have.
And that's what I'm saying. So, like,
now, no shade. There are tons of trans actors out there. They should give trans actors, but
right.
like give it to the world.
Right.
Like, bitch, you don't have to fake tough. Let's be really tough.
But then it goes beyond that. Then it becomes, why should a straight actor play a gay actor and to hire a gay actor? So does it have to translate all the time? Yeah, Terrence Howard or yeah.
We got that,
So
but
you got to be gay to play a gay role.
no, you don't have to. But if the actor is qualified and he's the fag, let him have the fag role.
We did it, Joe. We did it.
But then you got to get straight men. They came to the audition.
Right.
But if the fag show up and the fag is good, bitch, do let the fag have the job.
Right. But what were you going to say when I said, let me say this first?
We did it, Joe. We did it.
Felicity Huffman, transparent, and how trans people were upset.
It's like Domingo played.
Coleman Domingo,
Yeah.
he played what?
But they are Russian.
Sam Rustin, yeah.
I was there for that.
Oh, he killed that.
I was there for that.
Oh, yeah, he killed that. But I don't think that, see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think it was great that he was gay and he played it, but I think if a straight man can play it without being over the top. See, the problem is when straight people play gay men, sometimes they do too much. Because they think that all gay men are, like, over the top.
Like Eddie Redmayne. Now, did you play the real life fag? Yeah, that shit played the bitch. But I tell you, that's but I tell you, I'm telling you, even though he put some on the ass, I'm not going to sit up here and act like that. I don't think that when he played that movie, I Am Sam, I remember that. I don't know if I saw it. When they please God, give me the right word. Don't make me say the other word. When they were, what would you help me? I need 30 seconds.
That's what I'm about to do. That's what I'm about to
Right
do.
word. God said, Sam, I am. I am Sam. Mentally challenged, right? Especially when he played,
We did it, Joe. We did
when
it.
they played, I was like, oh my God, I really was sitting up there watching that shit. I believe all of that. I was like, how the fuck did he get into this? How did he transform
Right.
into this like this?
Right.
He was. I was like, oh my God. So see, the. I was like, bitch. When I tell you I was going up, and that's what Mr. Dakota Fanning. That's what I had. That's the first time I saw Mr. Dakota Fanning. I was so, bitch, that she had me crying.
Thinks the U.S. can win a trade war, and that pressuring China is actually the right way to.
I went on break impromptu.
But that's what he was getting at.
I went on break impromptu, sorry. I know it really wasn't a plan, Frank.
And besides, it's bullshit because y'all gonna try to say I'm weird. But the shit was so sickening.
Okay, Donald Trump. you know, he made fun of that journalist.
But I'm not making fun.
No, I know. You're talking about a character,
But
you
that's
know.
what he did.
Girl, I need you to put your hands down.
But that's all he was.
Stay strapped.
Put your hands down.
When I tell you me and Miss Berry was sitting there, girl, me and Miss Berry was glued. Because I was like, is he really? That was the first time I saw Sean Penn. And I was like,
But like you said, he played the shit out of Harvey Milk.
bitch, he played the shit out of that damn
Mentally
challenged. He played the shit out of that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Damn. I was like, yo. And then the other lady, the lady that played the girl.
I don't think I saw that movie. I remember it, but I don't think I saw it.
Hold on, let me show you a clip.
I got a pig.
Go ahead, let me get the clip. Go ahead. Let me get the clip. Girl, your ass is warm, Fred.
It's what?
Warm. Don't you fall sitting down. Don't you fall. And that man ate your ass like that. That man ate your ass like that. Oh my God. Hey. That's cool right there. It is.
How can we be so okay? Your teacher gave you a really hard book this time.
Here, folks.
I'm not kidding. That's the second it comes from the fire. No one's fault that you left your daughter.
These stewards light up.
But your intellectual capacity is around that of a 7-year-old.
Yeah, for all of us.
Our concern is what happens when we see her escape. I find it is not in the best interest of the child to remain in the home, and I order her detained.
Why the hell is he on his own with me?
Time to take it down.
He's one of the best athletes in the military.
You're my lawyer! Okay, so one more in like 5 minutes.
He's only much faster than everybody else. I'm sorry they let me hide.
I didn't realize what you had to do. You gotta be firm on that. You have to fight for her.
You don't know I ain't fighting.
No, I ain't fighting. You don't ever stand for that. I think I'm really on that.
You think we're dating the same perfect terms?
It matters that we do.
It matters to me. Do you truly belong to me? Which one has been added to me? I miss that. What makes you think you can raise a 7-year-old?
Every parent has those moments.
A 10-year-old?
The moment for this house is so unbelievable child.
A 13-year-old?
But she is part
46 years. What now?
about patience. I don't know
About the city. About the Where did Dakota Fanning go?
Spiritual, you feel.
It's an alcohol message, so I think you decided more alcohol. Today, I'm going to try out the revival water.
But where did Dakota Fanning go? Like,
Maybe she did.
You know, what, man?
I mean, but she stopped acting, didn't she?
Well, I know she did. She was in the vote. She was one. She was a part of the Votori.
What is that?
The Votori did. She was a part. She was just part of the Votori role. And
The last thing I remember she was in was
Twilight.
what was the movie with her, Alicia Keys, I think Queen Latifah.
You talking about Push?
No,
She was in Push.
Is that the one with J-Lo?
Bush. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The Secret Lives of Bees.
Secret Lives of Bees.
That's what I'm talking about.
She was in Push.
I don't know what Push is.
Wasn't she in Push?
What the hell is
She was
Push?
in The Watchers. She was just in The Watchers. And,
That's recent.
M. Night Shyamalan. I went to see The Watchers.
So she was in that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Girl, who's in British Dakota?
Oh, they said she was in Equalizer 3.
Oh, she was in Equalizer.
Who in that?
Isn't that the?
She was in Man on Fire.
Oh
When
yeah.
that her in Man on Fire?
Yeah, when he was her bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was years ago.
She has been in stuff since Twilight.
Oh, okay. I mean, I ain't seen her.
Girl, you don't watch those kind of. Girl, you're not into those type of sci-fi and all that kind of stuff, girl. You just,
Then she didn't move.
you really like all. You only like African American movies, girl.
I like rom-coms.
That's all you like is African American movies, girl. They got all the black niggas in there, honey.
I like rom-coms.
Those black niggas that will come out and watch that one of your gay movies. They're like, oh, that's cute.
That's stupid. Nathan says she's white crack. You're not looking for her. No, that's not true. I like
That is definitely true.
I like the
That is definitely true, bitch. That is definitely true, girl.
I did like the Dakota fan. I didn't know she was still working. I thought she had made her money and went on.
Well, she was looking.
I know you lying.
How much do you think 2 or 3 million?
Bitch.
Well, I mean, but you know, she was a child.
Girl, you made $1 million last year. You're still working. You made 1.2 this one.
Take your time.
How long do you think $1 million or $1.5 million has to go?
You gonna stop telling her.
Girl, what are you talking about? You have to go to work. Girl. Oh my God. Girl, you have to go to work. What are you talking about? Girl, you can't, I just can't work, girl.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Correct, probably made about $2,000 that year.
That's all I made.
I'm going to make you $11,000. Right. My health is good. I know that's right. My health is right.
Yeah.
I got to go down there and make sure my ass ain't hit this shit. I got to go down there. I got a prostate. Right. I got to make sure that prostate good.
I know that's right.
What about? I got a prostate. I got to make sure she's right. I got to get my health insurance.
Okay.
Shit, these nuts getting old and shit. These nuts getting old, bitch. You gotta go have those hoes examined.
Oh God.
Bitch, you have a testicular cancer and shit.
Right.
Bitch, you gotta get all that shit motherfucking examined.
That's right.
Yeah. I got nuts and breast, bitch. I gotta make sure I don't have breast cancer.
Okay.
Shit. Imagine bitch being a trainee with testicular cancer and breast cancer at the same time, bitch. Hell no.
That.
I just go to the doctor.
I know that's right.
Yeah. This is how you don't understand. I don't understand how these hoes that be staying out leaving all that shit on my motherfucking page back. I'll never be a woman. Bitch, I talk about me having a prostate and testicle shit.
Right.
What y'all hoes be? How y'all hoes don't see that?
Right. Like you're in denial.
Like I'm in complete denial. As much as I sit up and talk about me being a trainee, why do they feel like they got to post it? I mean, and it's like y'all not new to the fact because y'all be the first ones telling me about the pornos I done did.
That part.
Girl, they is crazy.
Testicular cancer.
That too. Yeah. Got all kind of porn substances floating around and be bitch. I gotta make sure that shit's no bubbles and shit.
Okay.
Don't give me no blood clot. I gotta go down there to my car.
love my doctor. I do. I love my doctor.
A male, female?
He's a male. He's a black man. I love my doctor.
That's your primary?
I love him. Bitch, I put my titties out right in front. I be like, doctor, I say, can you give me a cream to this? And I need you to up my
And you
dosage.
give me a cream.
I need you to up my dosage of hormones. Because my titties is hairy.
And what he'll say?
Okay.
Is he an older guy?
No, he's younger.
Yeah.
He's probably younger than most. I'm young. No, baby. He's younger than you a little bit. He's not in his 40s yet.
I'm not in my 40s.
Well, you're deaf. You're almost.
I still got a couple.
No, you got moment. Your moment.
I got 3 more years.
Yeah, 3 days. Yeah, I live for him. I love him. I
With him
call
for
him.
a very short time.
I will call him and tell him. And I'm very free with him. I communicate with him. I'm very free.
I mean, that's the way you should be with your doctor.
And he followed. I think he don't follow. I didn't know what his Twitter is. He was like, I see you cussing somebody out on Twitter.
Oh, for real?
He be following the stuff I be saying. I be like, you know, them bitches be trying me, honey. We be kicking in.
That is it.
But I call him.
He's not part of the community.
I don't think so, no.
Is he cute?
Oh, he's very cute.
Well, find out if he's part of the community. You know,
I don't be investigating on that. I don't want to be looking at my doctor doing that.
You know, I'm single.
Oh, you want to get for him? Oh,
Yeah.
I don't look at my doctor like that.
I may be able to get you some services for free.
Oh, all my services are free. I don't make enough money to pay somebody. All of my services are free. I don't make enough money to pay.
Right.
And $11,000 a year, how can I afford them?
Right. On that Obamacare.
What the fuck can I afford?
Okay.
Huh?
Still on Obamacare, honey. I know you all want to call it, what's the other shit they call it? When they don't want to call it Obamacare? Affordable Care Act.
Oh.
But it's still Obamacare.
No, actually, I don't have Obamacare. I just follow. I turn in my paperwork every year.
I know that.
Madison Hinton makes this. Where do you work? RD Multimedia Group Incorporated. Well, that's all great. We can talk about stuff. We almost out speaking.
But now I'm Deborah here from another Georgia. I ain't from the United States, but I'm from another Georgia, my love. We love you. Oh, thank you. We love you in Canada. Yeah, I love y'all too in Canada. I love y'all too. Like, I never love y'all too. But y'all president need to get together, honey. Cause he talking about shitting out lights and stuff, girl. Girl, why you want to shit out the light for? Come on now, you can't be doing that. Y'all president need to get together, honey. No shame. Y'all president need to get it together. Cause baby, yeah, cause I am done eating.
Oh, this my friend.
There are many things wrong with that video. No, it's not. We're just going to talk about the truth.
Stay in the town over here.
Have you ever met him?
No. I'm a fan of Shamar. I wanted Shamar.
You always do it. Both of you, right?
Sure was. While we was on the road. Oh, it's my friend. Oh, my friend.
You downloaded it?
Yes. Yes, you do.
Okay. That's nice.
Now, I won't go back to no concerts. Stuff like that.
I don't know if he's having concerts.
My friend said, I'm not coming back to no concerts. My friend said, now, excuse, what's the other word? What are those things related to that? Fish. Give me more words, Chris. Give me more synonyms. Things that I don't know.
Listen,
give me more synonyms.
I'm not fooling with
For
you.
places that I don't know. What is it?
There were many things
unsafe. How about that? There were many things that were wrong in that video, but I just want to focus on two. Did Atlanta, Georgia move from the United States? He said he's from Atlanta. He's not from the United States. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. So did we move the state?
Well, I kind of understood what Shamar was saying because I'm from Dade County. I'm not from Florida.
But you're from the United States, though.
But I'm not from Florida.
Okay, but he said the United
I'm from
States.
Dade County. So I got what you were saying.
Well, you just see, I do. And then the other thing, he said, Canada, your president. They don't have a president in Canada. They have a prime minister, but they don't have a president.
All right, I got another picture. I still need some more.
But this is the same person who said Donald Trump. Trump? Yeah. Oh, he talked about what? I don't know. Well, did he even vote?
I wonder who would play Shamar in his documentary.
So you playing now?
No, I want to know his life story.
What do you think he plays in it?
A documentary?
What do you think he plays in it?
Or like in a documentary? Chelio, I didn't know his name.
So, I actually like Rolling Ray too, bitch.
That he funny.
Big Rolling Ray is the key.
That he's funny.
I like Rolling Ray. I like Shamar. I like all of the girls. I like all of them.
I look at Viola.
Bitch, listen. Y'all not gonna talk about Viola Davis. Now that's my.
Orlando Brown.
Now Viola Davis is my girl.
Yeah. Listen, don't twist Viola Davis up in there. That's what they say.
Don't you what? What did you just say? Don't you what? What did you just say? You said don't twist Viola Davis up in there?
Don't twist her up in there.
Okay.
Don't bend her up in that kind of shit.
I think Billy Porter's looking for her.
Quick, now when that woman catch you outside and she bite down on your arm,
Bitch, I'm going to get a tetanus shot.
when that woman catch you outside and she motherfucking clank down on your arm, she trump down on your arm, bro.
I'm going to get a tetanus shot in a video. Mo, show me what that girl has on. Those texts I sent you, please.
Oh, just my friend. Oh, just my enemy. My friend.
We can take Shamar. I'll take him.
I live with Shamar though. Where you they have Shamar a couple of years ago. Yeah, Shamar may have a lot of, I don't know.
In all seriousness, I really would like for him to get proper
What?
management or, like a team that can really help him.
Shamar's a star.
Right. But that's what I'm saying. He needs proper guidance.
I personally think that Shamar is a star. I think that she's a star. I think Roland Ray is a star. Of course, Santana is a superstar.
Why would you put Santana in the category with him?
Well, because they're very socially, they're huge socially, and Santana.
Yeah, but those other two people don't even have music. I mean, well, they have music, but they don't. But they don't have music like Santana got music.
But Santana is.
I don't understand why you wrapped him up in there with
Well,
that.
because, yeah, they know Santana is a huge. Santana leads the pack of him.
I don't even think he in the category with them.
Oh, like you think he's above.
Yeah, I don't think he leads the pack of being like they're stars.
I hear what you're saying, but what I'm saying is, they say no, we don't understand.
They do understand.
I'm just saying, like, when I think of a Roland Ray and a Shamar, I don't necessarily think of
A star?
No. I do think that they're social media stars for sure.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like they're social.
Right, but what I'm saying is, I don't think of Santana like this.
I think Santana.
I know he started in social media.
That's what I'm saying.
I still don't feel like, yeah, he did start in social media, but I don't feel like he's. I would not put him in the same category with him.
I don't mean in the category.
One, they have
like
special needs.
I don't mean that in the category like that. I mean that they're social stars.
Okay.
Like they're social stars, and they grew. And Santana is definitely commercial now.
Yes.
You said Miss Netta, them are social stars too. I think that. I think that they're stars. I think that who else? Who else?
What's the one that be dissing people on?
Who? Who that?
That we did a story on him where he got jumped at the.
Terry Joe?
Yes.
Terry Joe is definitely a star. Terry Joe, bitch, I have key. Listen, let me tell you when you know that you are when you born, bitch, when your influence is crazy. Respect to the laws. Oh, that bitch.
She's a social media star.
Let me tell you. Yeah, listen, I want y'all to understand something. There's some people that got it.
Now, I'm not even going to lie to you, and I don't know if I'm on target or not. She might be able to slow. But she's medicated. Like, she seemed like she was going through some sort of medication.
Santana is an artist, but Santana is also strong. Like, there are some artists that are not stars. There are some artists that are not stars.
Hey, you said like artists that you don't think are stars?
Like, they don't have it. Like, they're just artists.
Singers,
And they're that I'm like, if I name some, like, you'll know.
okay, we sound with rappers.
We can do it all.
Are these social media stars?
Yes. They can be from every genre, not just LGBTQ.
God, who was that?
We're just talking about singers and rappers.
Everything.
Actors too?
Yeah.
They're putting names in the comments. You want me to put them up?
Ice Spice. You're not chilling.
I know.
You think she's a star?
No. I think she's an artist.
They said someone put it up there.
Mandy.
I think she's an artist. I mean, is she an artist?
No, was she on the one of those reality shows?
Okay.
Someone put hold on, somebody put.
Natalie Nunn.
She's entertainment. Can she cross over outside of it?
Someone said Tommy Lee.
No. I don't think that she's a star at all.
Someone said Rashawn.
No. At all. No. I can easily answer those no. I have to give it any thought. Summer Walker. I think she's an artist. I don't think she's a star. I think she's an artist. Johnson is a star. Sukiyana is a star. Sukiyana can cause commotion, and she can clean up and get on that, and she's pretty, and she's ratchet, but I've also seen her in different spaces. So, yeah, I think Sukiyana is a star. Yes.
Just hilarious.
No. And not because I don't like her, because I don't like her. Because I don't like her. But I think that I don't think that she's funny. I've never really found her funny. I think that she's an artist in her realm. She's an artist.
Okay.
Don't say Ray J.
I've worked with Ray J, and Ray J is funny.
The question is he a star? My answer is no.
He gives me more of a producer.
So your answer is no.
Yeah.
Tiffany Haddish.
Yeah. I think her and Jess are like in the same space for me. Like I liked it, but I never really found her thing. But I think that she's an artist. You understand what I'm saying? She knows how to do her job. Her job. We're gonna talk about that, but I think that she's an artist. I don't know her for being a star. Like I'm not gonna show up. Like I'm not gonna.
You're not buying a ticket.
No. Honest to God, I think Dee is a star.
I think she is too.
Dee is a star. Yeah.
She figured out how to walk in her star.
Yeah. She's
Candy.
I think that Candy is an artist.
I don't think Candy's a star either. I think she's an artist. I think she's a producer.
I think she's an artist. I think she's a business.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get that. All right. What's the girl? This name Kurt Cross. Rashida. Now, see, I don't know her, but I've seen her out before. She gives me some stars. It's something like she gives me something.
She gives an artist.
Perhaps. But because like she dressed her ass up, like I love the way that looks.
And she's beautiful.
She is.
But she's an artist.
K. Michelle the same.
I think that K. Michelle is a star. Because even if she wasn't singing, you got to look at it, what they wasn't doing.
Correct.
Even if she wasn't singing, I'll watch her look at that. And I'm actually intrigued by her country. I think her voice is. I like her country voice. But even if she wasn't do that, I would watch her because she's probably a baby man or something. And I'm like, oh bitch, I cut her. I like, you know, it's like that. It's like, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
Bitch, Big Day. I would look at Big Day. I don't know. I watch Big Day. I think Shekinah is a star, but I also think that Shekinah could come in and add flavor to something.
Do it. How do you see it? Know if we could trust the sentiment indicators because they were so partisan, and that's new. That's not.
She's funny.
She's funny.
She's funny. That bitch should come in and add flavor. Like, she's definitely funny. And she's a key. I would want to see her do something.
Billy Porter.
I think Billy Porter is an artist.
Laverne Cox.
I think Laverne is multifaceted. So I think Laverne is politics.
Look at Dominique Morgan. Is that Dominique Morgan? She's a Craig associated.
I think Laverne is politics. I've told Laverne this on countless times. I think that Laverne needs to be positioned somewhere in politics.
Yeah, that's Dominique.
Yeah, I think Laverne should be positioned somewhere in politics.
Uh-huh.
I think Laverne is extremely smart.
Do you think she's a star?
I think she's a star, yes. But I think that I've seen Laverne act. I've seen Laverne sing. I've seen Laverne host. I want to see Laverne in politics. Like I want to see Laverne like there making change.
Legislation.
Yeah, legislation.
Yeah. They just had a name that came across here, and I was going to ask, and I can't remember.
They were asking in the comments, is Miss Sophia a star?
Yeah.
Sophia definitely does.
Yes. Bitch, Sophia is a star. And I think Sophia is a star that didn't really get an opportunity to blossom how she should have. You know what I'm saying? And I think that she's an untapped
talent.
Yes.
Heavenly.
I think Heavenly is, yes. It's not the Heavenly entertaining.
Quad.
Quad is entertaining, yes. Yes. Quad is a time. Did you say when it's like,
You remember she was the last show that we did
it's like
when we
these
was on the
people
Queen's
can
Supreme
come
Court.
in there and they can shift the dynamics of the room.
Yeah. You know that was do you remember that was the last show that we did? Queen's Supreme Court. That was right going into COVID.
Damn.
That was the very last in-person show that we did at the other house.
Yes. I think Glorilla is an artist and a star.
What about Lotto?
I think Lotto is an artist.
I think so too.
Because being like a star is like, I'm not gonna, for me, and this is my opinion, for me, am I gonna watch a show with Lotto?
Right, yeah.
Would I watch a show with Lotto? Where's she gonna beat mama, eat? Huh?
Okay, what about
Doja Cat? I think Doja Cat is an artist.
Man, they had something.
And I think Glorilla is an artist.
So you don't think Glorilla is a star?
Yes. She's multifaceted too. Like I'll watch something for her because it's like she's like, I like the way she talks. I like the way she.
I say I don't like the way she talks.
So I like the way she talks because she's very cut. She's very.
Oh my God, it grinds my beard. Beautiful.
But you see, but you watch to hear what she's gonna say.
No, I didn't. She just happened to come across the screen, and yeah. Now, I mean, and she is who she is, but I'm like, oh my God, it eats me up. It makes me cringe. Mary J. Blige, I think, is definitely a star.
Yeah.
So it's a diamond.
Yeah, are we gonna watch this thing from very outside of her singing?
Mary?
Are you gonna watch it her outside? I mean, she's an actress too.
You know, she's doing her New York show. She's streaming it too.
She's an actress. But are we gonna watch a star? To me, like I want to engage in their real life.
Okay, the Brat and Judy.
I think that the Brat is very, when she comes out of her shell, and sometimes she gets in the shell, but the Brat is very spicy. Yeah, I'll watch. Yeah.
I think Judy is definitely a star. I'll get stuck on Judy's TikTok. Sometimes.
I don't even like TikTok.
Yeah. TikTok, I learned a lot on TikTok.
Yeah, I know, because you see a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You said who, Mom?
Sexy Red.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
She was a social star before she
became
this big artist that she is. Like she was a social star. Like people were following her. That's her. And I robbed you. So she, like, yeah.
Somebody did say Mary J was really good in Umbrella Academy. She was good.
Right.
I mean, she was decent.
Would I watch her personal life though?
I would.
Why?
Because I'm hoping that she's more interesting than she appears to be. Because Mary is dry as hell.
So that means that she's an artist. That means that she's an artist.
But I think that if
you feel me? That means she's an artist. If like I'm not gonna engage in.
Mary seems very stressed and sad.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sit down and watch her eat food. Like
who a lesbian?
You said Tokyo Tony? Yes.
She's a star.
And it's no shame.
She is a star.
It's no shame.
Tokyo Tony is a star.
It's no shame. As much as she's bipolar and she don't really, some days she like me, some days she don't.
Somebody say
no tea, no shame. I'd like you to understand that is true. If y'all could really get into the thing, that is something to look at.
You're having fun with this berry.
Yes. When you came in there, that kid, she said, if we would give a balance. He was like, wait, hold on. You had to look for people that did that. Don't turn around and expected. Don't turn around and look. He was headed to the pantry. And they said, roll that tell you like a sniper. Look, he talked about it.
You heard the animosity in her voice. You really heard the animosity in her voice.
And she's like, excuse me, Craig. You said, excuse me. And I was doing like this, two this.
And she didn't give no fuck.
Come here. And I looked at you and said, I told you. I told you. It was somebody that said in the comments. Oh, they asked about Tyler. I think Tyler can start. I think Tyler gets too. I mean, he's a star. He's a talent. Mm-hmm. Would I watch his life? Yeah. I like to see how he maneuvers because Todrick is very.
So, Mr. Crest said we should talk
I'm waiting.
about work. But not
Todrick is very sheltered. Wow.
Is there a room in the back or something?
Todrick was sheltered.
Cool. I'll get set up.
Color. Black people. He was sheltered from color. That's why I would watch this live. And I would like to see him maneuver.
Mr. Crest said you might be able to help me out with something.
Well,
not me,
see, that's
so that's clear. It's not me
very well
helping.
watching right now.
And I want to understood
But
that I am not
even after when he came in here that time and I said
doing
to him,
a favor.
it is
And
incumbent
this is not an
upon
offer of
us
employment
who
so
are in
much
certain
as an
positions
opportunity.
give opportunities to
anyway,
black
that's just
people.
getting a bit technical, but the point is,
Wait to see
sometimes
that.
our fair and legal
It's-
justice
still
system
follow
makes
each other on
mistakes.
Instagram,
And
it's
this
still
is
very
one
white.
such time. Here he is, Professor Maxim Brashkovsky.
All those people are not.
You know,
But
Professor
those are his friends, and those are
used
people
to be head of research for the Army. 3 doctorates.
Those are people he
Overconfident
likes.
polymath, vain
And
sociopath, tedious
and maybe some
egomaniac,
people
control freak,
don't wanna kick it
geneticist,
because
weapons development, engineer, car nut, but definitely not a people person.
They probably feel that.
Accused of espionage along with everything else? You don't remember? Well, lucky you. Exceedingly vain and self-absorbed man, brilliant at everything he does, yada yada yada, makes you want to puke. He's a goddamn traitor. I mean, he's a rat, but he pays. Incarcerated for a crime he did commit, but, well, let's just say money talks, and he's going to walk. So, we got a few things to get ready, all pretty straightforward. Do them one at a time, but any way you like. Standard op for a gov fact breakout, if you know what I mean. Rad. All right, first thing's a plane. Then we got a bus, and then, well, two things. We got the inmate transfer schedule and Rashkovsky's car. More on that later. Let me show you. We need a plane to get the professor out of the country. It's currently being used to traffic drugs by a transnational street gang, the Vagos. Bus. Need a standard Bolingbrook transport vehicle. The least traffic is on the route from Toledo Bay. All right, that's where you're going to be able to get a hold of one. You can get a hard copy of the inmate transit schedule at the LSPD
You've already told him.
station.
No, I just
Go
said
in unarmed.
we talked about it here
You
before.
might not have a problem. That's a 2-person job.
Oh, maybe you told me
The other
to.
2-handers are Guy's prize Casco.
I'm not gonna
We
spread
believe it's
that.
about to be shipped to Korea by a luxury car theft ring. Okay.
And I was
Mr. Crest
like,
said you
they
guys
stopped
really
saying
studied
that about
competence,
that one. I
so,
don't believe
well,
that.
Professor Rashkovsky pays well.
Thank you, whoever just said that. The name went by really quick. I didn't see it. Thank you, Phoebe. Keegan Palmer is definitely a star. Very. He's a star. Cardi B, they're asking. Yes, of course. Cardi B is a star, for sure. No. No. Just because you got balls in your drawers? Not making you suck because you have balls in your drawers. I have balls in my phone. Jennifer Hudson. From watching her television show, her talk show, I don't know. I don't know. I think that she's a talent. Oh. I think she's a talent.
But where is she going with these glasses?
Greg, why do you terrorize this woman?
What is this? Like, why would you put that jacket on with that interesting collared shirt?
Greg, why are you terrorizing?
Like, clearly that shirt has a half shoulder out, and it has a neck and a collar. Like, why would you put that jacket on top of
they're
that?
in New York, right? So it's cold.
They filming outside or inside of a building?
Well, it might be cold and out there.
But my thing is this. Like, what? She's like the black Mrs. Doubtfire.
What does that mean?
She's dowdy. Tacky.
Craig, leave her
Frumpy.
alone.
I just don't understand why she dressed like that. And like, for the life of me, I think about her and Common being a couple. And I just be wondering, like, is she too old lady-ish for him?
Some men pick what they like, and they have exactly what they. All of those other women were different from her. All of those other women, besides Tiffany Haddish,
I just.
Sanaa Lathan, and who else did he date? Sanaa Lathan,
Erykah Badu, Serena Williams,
they're all
Angela Rye.
They're all different type of women. They're all different. They're all different. He dated one witch.
Did he date Taraji? Did they ever date? They never dated?
Taraji's a star.
Taraji, yeah. But for some reason, I think he dated Taraji.
He
Did he
dated
not
one
date
witch, one school teacher. Because that Erykah Badu is a motherfucking sorceress.
You're right. Everybody that dates her
changes. That's a sorceress.
Everybody that dates her changes.
I thought he did date Taraji. He didn't date Taraji?
That's a sorceress, bitch. Believe
Right.
it.
If you don't believe it, if you don't believe in witches or sorcery, Erykah Badu, she got something on her that
God.
That Erykah Badu is going to give you a concert here.
And she's going to cast a real nasty spell on you.
They said he did date Taraji.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But that Erykah Badu is going to give you a concert, and when I tell you she is not going to let the show end, Erykah's going to perform and perform and perform.
Now, I'll watch her live. I'd like to see what she does when she gets up in the morning.
Well, she lights incense and things.
Why did you put over there?
Well,
like there's incense in this house. Why did you do that? Why did you point in that direction like there's incense and stuff over there?
Well, because there's like 3 bundles of incense that are over there. And there's a candle. And I burn incense too.
Oh, okay. So I thought you were insinuating something. That stuff with Erykah Badu, I don't know anything.
I burn incense as well.
That's nothing.
not a little bit.
I couldn't tell you.
Oh, they're saying he dated Regina Hall. Now, I think she's beautiful.
Regina Hall is.
And you know, she's like 50. She might be 50. Let me see how old she is. She might be right at 50, but she's bad. She is. She is funny. Yeah. Let's see, Regina Hall age.
You haven't asked me about any men. You've been asking me about women.
Let me see. Okay. Why is it hot over here? Common. Christian Keys.
Who's that? I think Lil Nas X is an artist that he's eclectic.
So not a star.
I think he's a star too, but he's one of those type of people because I've gotten to be in his personal space.
Mm-hmm.
He's very timid.
Oh, really? Part of that is probably because he's so young too.
Very timid, and then sometimes he's an Aries like my mom. That's why him is very guy. He's very little for him.
How old is Lil Nas X?
24.
That's it?
24.
The things I've thought about him.
Girl, sit your ass down.
I thought he was older.
Yes.
You think Boosie is a star? Oh, wow.
Yes, I do.
See, I don't see that.
I do. Because it's the unknowing thing. Yeah.
The last time China and the U.S. clashed directly on the battlefield.
Why is it hot over here?
Back then, Mao made his position clear. China would not bend to American pressure. Today, Chinese President Xi Jinping also wants to project strength to Washington and his own people. For Beijing, this isn't just about pride, it's about power. Taiwan's chip industry may be the prize. Some of the most advanced, highly secret technology. It's no secret you have to check your phone, your laptop, anything that emits a signal. I visited Taiwan's semiconductor manufacturing company last year. TSMC makes most of the world's advanced microchips. Last month, TSMC announced a $165 billion U.S. investment for the U.S. President Donald Trump.
We are business.
Right now, all leaders are playing hard. Trump says he's ready to talk. Only Xi makes the first move. But Beijing reacts differently. No call initiated, no compromise made. A dangerous standoff where protocol is high, paving the way for diplomacy. And as the world's two biggest economies hate each other out, ordinary people here in Taiwan worry what might get traded away. A deal made by two powerful men, each too proud to pick up the phone. Bill Ripley, CNN, Taipei.
Updated research from Yale University's budget estimates that tariffs will cost a typical middle-class American household $37,100 a year. That is about $250 to reflect the level of tax on imports from China, and that means higher consumer prices all around.
As a result of the tariffs that are in place currently and have been announced, which is the 10% across-the-board tariff and the 145% tariff rate on Chinese goods, you're in a situation where in the United States you have the highest tariff rates that we've had at any moment in the last century. And what you're seeing vis-a-vis China is kind of, and it frankly, understandably, this ratcheting up effect where the United States launched this trade war, sort of very substantially increased tariff rates on the Chinese, and the Chinese have 3 times since increased tariff rates right back in the United States. The key thing to understand is in a trade war, the consumers cannot win. So what the American people are going to experience, and the Yale Budget Lab, which I run, has kind of crunched the numbers here, they're going to experience price increases across the board because it turns out a lot of things that they buy come from China.
It's also estimated that by the end of this year, the U.S. unemployment rate will rise about 0.6%, which amounts to about 740,000 fewer jobs. A federal judge on Friday ordered the Justice Department to provide daily updates on what they're doing to facilitate a wrongly deported man's return to the U.S. Gilmar Abrego Garcia is a Maryland father of 3 who was deported to an El Salvador prison. The White House says it was an administrative error. The Supreme Court ordered the White House to get him back to the U.S. At one point on Friday, the government's lawyer admitted he had no information about the man's location. Abrego Garcia's lawyers say the White House isn't trying to follow the court's order.
I don't think there's anyone in this country who believes the government when they say, "Well, we don't know how to do this. We can't figure out how to get someone out of a Salvadoran jail." They got Kristi Noem out of a Salvadoran jail, right? I mean, they get Gilmar Abrego Garcia out of that same jail.
His attorney says Abrego Garcia fled gang violence in El Salvador more than a decade ago. In 2019, an immigration judge granted him protected status, which should have prevented his deportation. A Louisiana immigration judge ruled on Friday that a pro-Palestinian activist who is a legal permanent resident of the U.S. can be deported. Mahmoud Khalil is a Columbia University graduate who led protests at the Ivy League school last year against Israel's war in Gaza. CNN's Gloria Pazmino has more on that case.
That's right. And it's important to remember that despite this judge's finding that Khalil is, in fact, removable from the United States, it's unlikely that he will be removed from the country anytime soon. The reason for that is because his attorneys have made it clear they plan to appeal that decision. Now, it's important to remember that there are two cases unfolding here. The one in Louisiana, which is focused on his immigration proceeding and his deportation order, and the one in New Jersey, which focuses on the constitutionality and the legality of his detention. Remember, Khalil's attorneys have said that his detention is illegal because he is being targeted for his speech and for his political activity in violation of the First Amendment. Now, although the immigration judge has said that she believes Khalil will be deportable, the other case in New Jersey continues to advance. Now, we should also highlight that the Louisiana judge made that determination based on a piece of evidence submitted by the government, a two-page memo written by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, in which he laid out the reasons why Khalil is deportable, specifically citing his protest activity. Again, his attorneys focused on the fact that that activity is protected by the First Amendment, something that not just U.S. citizens are protected by, but also permanent U.S. residents like Khalil. In the meantime, his attorneys remain focused on trying to get him released from detention. They are hoping that a judge in New Jersey will hear a motion asking for his release. It's not yet clear whether or not that will happen, but it seems like for now, the case is far from over, and Khalil will have to remain in custody. Gloria Pasmino, CNN, New York.
Donald Trump's key envoy meets with Russia President Putin, hoping to make progress on a ceasefire with Ukraine. That story is just ahead.
X on your journey. X to sports. To more time.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. And this Nintendo Switch sold for less than $20. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
Do you have a box of videotapes, film reels, or photos that are degrading? Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or the cloud. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit LegacyBox.com.
The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper is a 5-time Emmy winner for long-form journalism. This week, Domi O'Sullivan dives back into the new world of American extremism. The Whole Story with Anderson Cooper, Sunday on CNN.
The 5 Things Podcast from CNN. Get the day's top 5 stories, all in one podcast. The 5 things you need to hear in under 5 minutes. Listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Ukraine and its allies are making it clear they don't have much faith in Moscow as a U.S. negotiator talks with Vladimir Putin. On Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the site of one of Russia's deadliest attacks on his country this year. At least 19 people were killed, including 9 children, in a missile strike on the city of Kryvyi Rih last week. Britain and Germany said on Friday that peace appears to be out of reach for now because of Russia's ongoing aggression. Mr. Zelensky echoed that sentiment.
Today marks exactly
Bye-bye. Time to catch the bus. You can have that. It's on the road from the prison to Polito, and I'm here if you need me. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking it'd be easier to take an old school bus, paint it, bar the windows, and make it smell like blood, bowels, and your brother's high school tube sock. Sure, we could do that, but it costs money, and this is costing us, is costing Rishkovsky enough already. So, you're hitting the transport, and you're not second-guessing us again. Will think we're trying to break him out, and they'll be distracted from what's really going on. You read me? Okay, so we need the bus intact. Cleanest way to do that would be neutralizing the driver, just so you know. Looks like you're clear. Everyone thinks it's a breakout gone wrong. They're looking in the wrong place. Bring the transport to the junkyard outside Sandy Shores. One of my people look after it till we go in. How's the bus? No one hiding in the back with a cell phone, a carton of cigarettes, a pint of Pruno up his ass? Amazing what they can fit up there. The lifers, especially. You know those games you play where someone gets out a rocket launcher? People go, where is he keeping that? It's so unrealistic. I say to them, you've clearly not spent much time in the U.S. prison system. Levity and pop culture references are useful tools when trying to gain trust of new associates.
Nice. We'll hold on to this for you.
1 month since Russia rejected the U.S. proposal for a full and unconditional ceasefire. 1 month that has made it completely clear Russia is the sole cause of this war. Without strength against Russia, there will be no will in Russia to accept and implement any realistic and effective proposals for peace.
The US is not giving up on a possible peace agreement between Russia and Ukraine. CNN's Fred Plygan has more.
Friday's meeting between President Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff and Russian President Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg, Russia, was the third meeting of the two men. And the Russians are saying that the meeting between these two lasted more than 4 hours. And they say that there were essentially two main topics that were discussed. One of them was, of course, the war in Ukraine and the possible ending of the conflict in Ukraine. Of course, that is something that is proving to be quite difficult. The Russians are also saying that apparently a possible normalization in relations between Russia and the United States is also something that would be on the agenda for these talks. Now, all of this comes as the ceasefire in Ukraine remains very difficult to come by, and it certainly appears as though President Trump's frustration appears to be growing. He posted on his Truth Social account that he thinks Russia needs to get moving, as he put it, that people are dying, wrote that in capital letters, and saying that thousands were dying each week. So clearly, the Trump administration believes the Russians need to move forward and get a ceasefire going. Of course, we do know that about a month ago, the Ukrainians actually unconditionally said they would agree to a ceasefire with Russia. So far, however, the Russians are saying that they want the root causes of the conflict in Ukraine to be dealt with before a ceasefire can be put in place. All of this, as generally progress remains very difficult to come by as far as possible ending of fighting in Ukraine is concerned. Right now, what is in place is a determination by both the Ukrainians and Russians not to hit certain targets, including energy infrastructure. However, for instance, a different agreement to end fighting in the Black Sea and allow for agricultural exports via the Black Sea, that is so far not in place yet because the Russians are saying that they want substantial sanctions relief before that can happen. It's unclear how much was achieved in the latest round of talks between Steve Witkoff and the Russian president. However, the head of the Russian Direct Investment Fund, Dmitriev, who's also one of the top negotiators for the Russians, he called the meeting productive. From CNN, Berlin.
Steve Witkoff will switch tracks in the coming hours and hold what could be the first direct U.S. talks with Iran in a decade. Witkoff is set to lead Iranian negotiations in Oman. The White House says it wants to reach a new nuclear deal that would prevent Iran from building a nuclear weapon. That's after Mr. Trump gave Iran 2 months to reach the deal or face possible military action. He said Israel would lead that military action. During his first term, President Trump withdrew from the 2015 nuclear agreement with Tehran. Now he says he wants a stronger agreement, but has not said how any new deal would be different. Israel is warning residents in some parts of Gaza City to evacuate ahead of military operations. This all comes as Israel looks to create a buffer zone to separate Palestinians from Israeli communities along the Gaza border. The UN now estimates close to 400,000 Palestinians have been displaced in Gaza since the ceasefire collapsed last month.
This is the millionth time I'm displaced. I can't walk. I have back cartilage pain in my back. I have high blood pressure. I have diabetes. I can't walk. Enough terrorizing us.
Libyan protesters demonstrated solidarity with the Palestinians on Friday. They waved Palestinian flags and carried signs with Quranic verses. Meanwhile, thousands more rallied in support in Pakistan's second largest city. The country's major Islamist party has been calling for countrywide demonstrations against Israel. Two of the biggest names in Italian fashion are about to be united. Just ahead, the deal struck by Prada to strengthen its position as an Italian powerhouse. Is it a boat? Is it a plane? Well, it's kind of both, and it's zero emissions. Belfast-based Artemis Technologies developed these vessels. Its mission? To decarbonise maritime transport.
In terms of people transportation, there's a lot of opportunity with this technology to think about using our waterways as well.
It uses an underwater wing that lifts the boat's hull out of water, drastically reducing drag. Powered by an electric battery, these vessels are vastly more efficient than conventional diesel-powered boats.
We are the only solution worldwide in high-speed maritime that you can both practically and economically decarbonise your operations.
You can see it's pretty choppy out there. There's some wind, but completely steady on ship. There is a sense that you can fly as well.
Wait, Noom has GLP-1 meds now?
Noom, a psychology-based weight loss company?
Yes, Noom combines medication and behavior change so you can lose the weight and keep it off.
And it starts at just $149.
Noom, the smart way to lose weight.
We try to be global and we try to be smart. What I want to hear are authentic voices of people who are passionate, who are intelligent, and that's the consistency that we try to get at.
Fareed Zakaria, GPS, Sundays on CNN.
Things are getting serious at golf's legendary Masters tournament, the first major of the year, held not far from here in Augusta, Georgia. Englishman Justin Rose remains in a tenuous lead, but as CNN's Don Riddell tells us, other golfers are spoiling to take him down and win the green jacket.
You know, of all the intriguing storylines that could play out here at Augusta over the weekend, I think Rory McIlroy is the most compelling. The world number 2 is obviously a fabulous golfer, but he hasn't won a major tournament now for over a decade, and the Masters is the only one of the 4 majors that he's never won, and arguably it has caused him the most pain. But he's playing superbly. He had a brilliant round of 66 on Friday, and afterwards he spoke to the media about how his role as a father is actually helping him as a golfer.
I rushed out of here to get home to see Poppy before she went to bed, so that was sort of nice to be able to get to see her before she went to sleep. And yeah, I guess that's something that I didn't have a few years ago, to be able to, get home and have that sort of, take my mind off the golf a little bit. So, but yeah, I feel like I just did a good job of resetting. I don't think I proved anything. If anything, I just backed up the belief that I have in myself, and the belief that I'm as resilient as anyone else out here.
Well, it is going to be a packed leaderboard for the third round. The former US Open champion Justin Rose is on 8 under. He leads by 1. Bryson DeChambeau, the reigning US Open champion, is just a stroke behind on 7 under par. And of course, let's not count out the world number 1 and defending champion Scotty Scheffler, who is trying to become not only the 4th player to defend the green jacket, also trying to become the 2nd.
And it's the unknown. It's the unknown. It's the drawing. 50 Cent. Yeah. It's the unknown. Girl. None of the other 4 Jacks had it. Tito, Jermaine. It stopped at Janet. Janet and Michael. Those are the only 2. The other girls, Rebe and. That centipede, all that other food. What was it? Oh, that was Diana Ross, wasn't it? Right. What was it? One more time. Charlemagne. Once upon a time, I used to. Why? You signed for that wig on today? Kevin Gates. Kevin Gates is interesting. Yeah. I think so. Yes. Like, because, like, I see him just sit and talk about random shit, and it is pull me in. They're like, what are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? I just want to open them. But they asked him about Funky Dineva. They put it on there 19 times. I think that Dineva is a star, but I think Dineva is very much so. There are things that Dineva don't want. Like, Dineva does not want to be. I think Dineva hasn't actually. What? Phoenixed. Okay. Yeah. Like, no, I think open up and embrace it all. Like, yeah. I don't think that's because I don't think that's not the thing. I don't think that's And I've been in Dineva's ear. That's why he's doing that cruise. And I've said, Dineva, I think that you should. There's so many things that I've spoken to Dineva that I feel. And if you apply this, you do this. And he's like, bro, I don't want all that. I don't want. And then when you get a taste of it, like, bitch, I want to do this. Right. Well, remember when we first toured the Supreme Court and we went to Dominican Republic? It was him, you, and Lynn Spears. The word. Now he was like, I don't think that people can pay to come out of the country to see a Queen Supreme Court show. And like, and I'm not saying that we started this whole social media thing with you before, but I don't really know anybody who was doing it before. Okay. But what I'm saying is, I know now he does down to the bar, social media, what now doing like.
You're clear. Now, go into the station and come out with a hard copy. On the way in, you want to pop the gloves unless you look stupid. On the way out with the document, I don't know. I would do this quickly if I were you, just in case someone adds to it too and makes you.
So, I love his, I love his perspective. I love the way he's Right. And it's also told me like that. I really have I learned a lot. A lot of things out there, yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Oh, my God. I'm so thankful. Like you did the other day. But you didn't see it, but we weren't on video. Don't take that out.
Okay, one more thing. I'm gonna need you to torch the cop car to stop this coming back at us. There are some gas cans under the Olympic Freeway in Marietta Heights that'll do the job.
The other day we were taping. We were taping for the T.S. Matthews Starter House Project. And the girl was giving me and said something, and I said, they pointed out, like, maybe you're on the spectrum. Like, you're on the spectrum. And I said, oh, I gave it the first time that. What are sometimes think that you may have ADD. Because your concentration and focus is not. No, I actually. So, sometimes. No, stop. Like, stop. When you think that I'm not focused, I've gathered it all. But it's because those women I'm like, bro, I'm about to explode, so I need to focus. I need to shift. because I'm on the verge of popping. And so then I said, well, maybe, the lady said, well, maybe it's Tourette's. And I said, no, that's not. You know, Tourette's, you just have alcohol. You just not, Tourette's is like, the next, they're just yelling random shit out. I ain't never seen that. Yeah, but that's not correct. I mean, it is a tick, but it ain't correct. You know what I mean? Because you're going to be like, you'll just say dumb. But again, it's well, right, so you got to make it correct. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's just make y'all going. They may be on the close. Correct. I be looking at my. You be like, I'm like, no, that's not. You just. They said, yeah. Wait a minute, they said I can control it. I'll be trying. Because we were at the house and it was just going. And I think
Before we started,
I think it was just because there was so many people.
And what did you say?
A lot of shit. What is stimming? What you do? That shit you be doing. What is neurodivergent? That. Exactly the fuck that. Oh my God, what does that mean?
They said,
what is that?
Norman Freeman, is he a star?
Yes.
It can.
Yeah. Well, I need to try to find out what neurodivergence is.
It says, what is neurodivergence? The difference is how people's brains function, learn, and process information. Encompassing conditions like autism, ADHD, dyslexia, and others, and is seen as a natural variation in human cognition. Yeah. What are symptoms? It can vary greatly depending on the specific condition. Difficulty with social interactions, heightened anxiety, sensitivity to sensory points, and challenges with focusing or staying still. Kind of the last part.
No, it was so much stuff going on in the house. There were so many people.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, you know,
Right.
It's that.
Before the interview. Right. Right before the interview.
It's like, and the camera came on most things. The girl looked at me, she was like,
and then she was like,
and then she had her own camera.
And then I was like, that's a Tourette's. Somebody said, stimming is self-soothing, repetitive moving unconsciously when you're overstimulated too, and when you're overstimulated.
I don't know. But I just found it. I ain't gonna say I just found it out, but I've been telling you both. I was like, bitch, I got Tourette's. She's like, bitch, that's not Tourette's. And I was like, girl. And when that girl pulled her camera out, you had your camera. And she said, well, what is that? And I was like, what are you talking about? And I feel like that's something that we play. And then her camera came on. And she turned her camera into one of those little things, those little ones. It was like a little, a rifle. And that shit turned it was spinning. It started spinning around. And the more it spin, I was doing like this.
Got some cool stuff here.
I was spinning with it like, maybe that's when I do my shoulder like this.
What can I get you?
But no, I don't think that's correct. Well, it's so. When a bitch got Tourette's, you know she be doing being so involuntary. Right.
at the weirdest times.
Girl, so you thought I was not going to look at that bag of those pistachios over there, girl? Mine? Why did you up there? Where are you? Well, these are going home with me. Oh, really? Yeah. So you brought a bag for me to have some, and then you took no. I brought a bag for myself, and I shared with you. But you brought a bag for me to have some, and then you take all those bags home? No. Once again, I brought a bag for me. I brought snacks to work for myself, and I shared my lunch with you. Oh, that's what you call lunch? That's my snack. That was my snack before lunch. So what are you eating when you get home, Ed? I don't have anyone to, Good. You don't need that. It's going to poison your liver.
Well, we were talking about some breasts.
Yeah.
Hey, good work, people. Great job. Nice, we're still in business. Very well done. All of you.
Final stretch now. It's a two-horse race with two of you in each horse, the ass and the head. Horse 1 is going for the lawyers at City Hall. Horse 2 is on the business partner in Richmond. Sound good? Get moving. Horse 1, there's a ladder going up to the roof of the building opposite City Hall. You've got your long-range rifles, right? You want to minimize risk of failure, so you're taking your kills at exactly the same time. Coordinate your shots.
What do you mean?
Climb the ladder and get in position on the rooftop. Got a clear view of the steps? Vanderloop and Sherman are on a route in a black benefactor shafter. Do not shoot until they are out of the car. Here they come. Wait till they're out and take the shots at the exact same time. 2 shots, 2 kills. Well done. Now, go down and get cleaned up at Pavlov's house. I got deposition back in.
hit you.
Treasury is a safe haven. So this is important to what happened this week. Normally, in times of economic turmoil, we would see stocks sell off and investors go to bonds. That didn't happen. We saw investors selling stocks and bonds. And that is really a red flag because it's only happened a handful of times in history, and it's a signal that investors can't really see which way the economy is going, and they're kind of putting their pencils down and saying, we're sitting this one out, and it's a big red flag.
Updated research from the Yale University Budget Lab estimates that tariffs will cost the typical middle-class American household $3,700 a year, and that is up $250 to reflect the level of tax on imports from China. And that means higher consumer prices all around. It's also estimated that by the end of this year, the U.S. unemployment rate will rise by about 0.6%, which amounts to about 740,000 fewer jobs. The major U.S. stock market indexes all rose by more than 1% on Friday to close out a wild ride over the week. Tariffs, retaliation, and surprise announcements all playing a huge part in the cycle of uncertainty. CNN's Anna Stewart takes a closer look.
It has been a roller coaster week for global markets, and it all kicked off on Monday when the S&P started the week in bear market territory, a 20% fall from its recent peak. That wasn't helped by President Donald Trump announcing an additional 50% tariff on China in response to their 34% retaliation the week prior. Wall Street started the day higher Tuesday, encouraged by word that dozens of countries were seeking deals, but as the hours ticked down to Trump's so-called Liberation Day, gains evaporated and U.S. stocks ended the day in the red. Now, on Wednesday, President Trump's so-called reciprocal tariffs went into effect, a major escalation in his global trade war. Tariffs on China were raised to at least 104%, and China responded with 84% tariffs. The European Union also backed countermeasures, albeit only against an earlier round of U.S. tariffs on steel and aluminium. Markets were deeply unsettled, with a sell-off even in assets like U.S. bonds, usually a safe haven at times of volatility. But then Trump announced a major turnaround.
I thought that people were jumping a little bit out of line. They were getting yippy, you know? They were getting a little bit yippy, a little bit afraid, unlike these champions, because we have a big job to do. No other president would have done what I did.
A 90-day pause on the new higher tariffs to allow for negotiations, and in their place a 10% baseline tariff for all on his list, apart from China, whose tariffs increased to 125%. The news sparked one of the biggest Wall Street rallies in history, but that was short-lived. On Thursday, the sell-off continued, as U.S. recession fears remained unassuaged by Trump's tariff pause, and those losses steepened after the White House clarified that the total levy on China wasn't 125%, but at least 145%. The EU announcing a 90-day pause on its tariffs on U.S. products wasn't enough to lift U.S. stocks, especially after the EU Commission President warned if negotiations weren't satisfactory, their countermeasures would kick in. The week ended with China retaliating once again on Friday, raising its tariff on the US to 125%, with a spokesperson for China's Commerce Ministry saying it had become nothing more than a numbers game with no real economic significance. In 1 week, we saw volatility on Wall Street, economists' warnings about a US recession, a weakened dollar, and a US bond sell-off. It all suggests that Trump's trade war is already having lasting consequences, regardless of the backpedalers. Anna Stewart, CNN, London.
A federal judge on Friday ordered the Justice Department to provide daily updates on what they're doing to facilitate a wrongly deported man's return to the US. Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a Maryland father of 3 who was deported to an El Salvador prison. The White House says it was an administrative error. The Supreme Court ordered the White House to get him back to the US. And at one point on Friday, the government's lawyer admitted he had no information about the man's location. Abrego Garcia's lawyers say the White House isn't trying to follow the court's order.
I don't think there's anyone in this country who believes the government when they say, well, we don't know how to do this. We can't figure out how to get someone out of a Salvadoran jail. They got Kristi Noem out of a Salvadoran jail, right? I mean, they get Kilmar Abrego Garcia out of that same jail.
His attorney says Abrego Garcia fled gang violence in El Salvador more than a decade ago. In 2019, an immigration judge granted him protected status, which should have prevented his deportation. A Louisiana immigration judge ruled on Friday that a pro-Palestinian activist who is a legal permanent resident of the US can be deported. Mahmoud Khalil is a Columbia University graduate who led protests at the Ivy League school last year against Israel's war in Gaza. The judge's decision is based on a memo submitted by Secretary of State Marco Rubio saying Khalil is deportable because of his protest activity, which, he says, would compromise US foreign policy interests. Khalil's legal team says the judge's decision was a violation of his constitutional rights. They're expected to appeal that ruling. This all comes as the US State Department has now revoked more than 500 student visas across 88 colleges and universities. This is all an expansion of the government's massive deportation efforts. In statements, some of the schools affected say it does not appear that the government is detaining people whose visas have been revoked. And it's not clear if those students must immediately leave the country or they can stay to continue their education here. All right, Donald Trump's key envoy meets with Russia President Putin, hoping to make progress on a ceasefire with Ukraine. We're going to take a look at how Steve Witkoff became Trump's most trusted diplomat.
Visionaries in association with Hyundai.
How do you keep being inspired and evolving? Where do you learn from?
Well, I have to seek that, and job change, it helps with that. And I feel like I've gone into a situation now with an executive coach that's been really, really helpful, pushed me quite a lot in areas I've wanted to develop.
Do you enjoy that?
Love it.
Do you?
Absolutely love it. Yeah, I like being called out on things. I like feedback. I like being told where I can improve. I was working through this yesterday. In order for me to perform, I need to be at my stretch point. I don't do well in comfort. Comfort for me doesn't bring the best out of me. Stretching does. Freedom. Just I need to relax and then stretch. Relax, stretch. That's how I work. I think knowing yourself.
Nothing handed to you in the women's game. I want to help women's football grow. Show women to be involved in all aspects of the game. With Hyundai supporting the women's world cup, I hope to see more women playing. And more and more dreaming big. Because when we raise the bar, we inspire the future.
Box videotapes, film reels, and photos that are degrading, Legacy Box professionally converts them to DVDs, thumb drive, or zip files. Legacy Box is simple and safe, with over 1 million satisfied customers. Visit legacybox.com.
Ukraine and its allies are making it clear that they don't have much faith in Moscow as a U.S. negotiator talks with Vladimir Putin. On Friday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited the site of one of Russia's deadliest attacks on his country this year. At least 19 people were killed, including 9 children, in a missile strike in the city of Kryvyi Rih last week. After the visit, Mr. Zelensky held a virtual address at the Ukraine Defense Contact Group, which was meeting in Brussels. And he said peace is clearly not a priority for Moscow.
Today marks exactly 1 month since Russia rejected the U.S. proposal for a full and unconditional ceasefire. 1 month that has made it completely clear Russia is the sole cause of this war. Without strength against Russia, there will be no will in Russia to accept and implement any realistic and effective proposals for peace.
Dozens of countries echoed that sentiment, pledging close to $24 billion in new military aid for the year. They attended a meeting of the Ukraine Defense Contact Group on Friday in Brussels. Germany's defense minister said peace appears to be a long shot at this point.
Given Russia's ongoing aggression against Ukraine, we must hope to concede. Peace in Ukraine appears to be out of reach in the immediate future. We will ensure that Ukraine continues to benefit from our joint military support. Russia needs to understand that Ukraine is able to go on fighting, and we will support it.
The new aid includes a pledge from Norway to train and equip 1 military brigade. Ukraine is also set to receive more air defense and radar systems, as well as hundreds of thousands of drones. Donald Trump's special envoy Steve Witkoff met with Vladimir Putin in St. Petersburg on Friday. Russian state media says the meeting lasted more than 4 hours. Reportedly, the pair discussed the war in Ukraine and attempts to reach a ceasefire, and the possibility of normalizing relations between Russia and the US. One of Mr. Trump and Mr. Putin's top negotiators called the meeting productive. CNN's Alex Marquardt explains how it got became Donald Trump's most trusted diplomat.
This is the first time we've seen images of Vladimir Putin meeting with a U.S. official in almost 4 years. This U.S. official, Steve Witkoff, is different, is making a habit of this, sitting down with Putin for the 3rd time just this year. It comes amid a flurry of new contact between the U.S. and Russia, which so far have made little progress at ending the war in Ukraine. It's being led by Witkoff, the longtime friend and donor of Donald Trump's, fellow New York billionaire real estate developer. Despite zero diplomatic experience, Trump tapped Witkoff to be his envoy to the Middle East.
Steve Witkoff, he's just got back from the Middle East and he's done a fantastic job. He's a great deal maker.
It's a huge job, which only got bigger when he took on the Russia portfolio. And this weekend, Witkoff is set to add more. Meeting with Iran's foreign minister to try to hash out a nuclear deal. Iran's nuclear program, the Russia-Ukraine war, and a ceasefire in Gaza, each a monumental task on its own. And Witkoff appears to be doing one of it himself, traveling around the world on his own private jet, with little to no staff officials with him.
I don't want to take the words of President Putin's mouth, but I think he's indicated that he accepts the philosophy of President Trump.
Many observers of Putin and Russia fear they're playing with Trump and not actually interested in peace.
What you think of my life? I'm putting this straight up in the second best place. I don't think I'm personally President Putin. They should have portrait of President Trump from a leading Russian artist and actually gave it to me and asked me to take it home to President Trump, which I brought home and delivered.
Trump is increasingly frustrated with the lack of progress in Ukraine. And now Witkoff's main accomplishment so far, the ceasefire in Gaza, has fallen apart. Israel resuming military operations against Hamas.
I would encourage Hamas to get much more sensible than how they have been.
Trump and Witkoff met in the 1980s. Like Trump, he has now moved to Florida. His son, Zach, is a co-founder of a cryptocurrency company that's backed by Trump and his sons. Crypto site CoinDesk reported today that the company recently lost $125 million. Few had heard of Witkoff, who was out golfing with Trump last September.
Nothing. Nice. Easy.
Less than 200 U.S. staff. We're not the government of the world. We are willing to continue to help in the humanitarian crisis. Other countries need to do so as well.
And others are. China, Russia, India, and more than 15 countries have boots on the ground. Search and rescue units, field hospitals, mobile clinics, and heavy machinery. Chinese teams were pulling survivors from the rubble just 48 hours after the quake. Beijing also pledged nearly $5 million more than the U.S.
So the fact that the U.S. is cutting back heavily hits us here. As you know, it hits us everywhere. It's an embarrassment, but beyond that, it's deadly.
The U.S. used to be a leader in global disaster response, sending elite rescue teams, dogs, rings, food, and water. All that feels like a distant memory now.
We need copper machines to dig through collapsed buildings. Without them, people die.
This is the first
got pretty much everything in here. Yo, one night we should sneak chop a huge ass T-bone. I'd love to see you rip that shit apart. Just like old times.
A major natural disaster since the Trump administration dismantled most of U.S. aid, firing thousands, freezing funding, and ending contracts. In Myanmar, almost 20 million people were already in need, displaced by 4 years of civil war, then being the earthquake. Suffering is immense. The United States, once a lifeline, now missing in action. Remember those 3 U.S. aid staffers working in Myanmar when they were notified their jobs were being eliminated? This was part of the broader layoffs in U.S. aid, and we're told that they weren't immediately pulled out. They're actually still working in Myanmar, but their positions are being cut and there are no plans to replace them. Now, the countries that are ironically providing more aid to Myanmar are also sending hundreds of millions of dollars in weapons to the junta in some cases, like Russia and China. The UN has documented dozens of junta attacks since the quake, including some even after the junta declared a ceasefire. Will Ripley, CNN.
An author was sitting alone at a book signing event. Then a 4-year-old approached him and changed his life forever. Coming up, the viral video reshaped it.
Next is what? I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. Go to Geocache.com and see how much you can save.
If you can keep your spend, when markets are back, your Parliament signature can't see a way through. If you can trust your instincts, momentum, and stuff, or wait, don't be tired. I'm waiting. If you can try, make money or master business. Disaster, good or less. If you can run with the balance, not your brain or balance. Hey, when we come together, it makes sense to it all. Then, the business world will all in
We did it, Joe.
Went well, taking a swing at his predecessor, Joe Biden. President Trump said he wanted to keep it and take Republican mess as well. Here's what he told reporters.
All right, y'all. I'm going to bed. It's my bedtime, and I gotta do stuff tomorrow. But y'all have a great weekend. I will see y'all soon. Have fun. Be safe.
Results are expected to be released on Sunday.
And I will see y'all later. Good night.
Let's wish happy birthday, Fatu! The world's oldest captive gorilla just turned 68. Fatu celebrated by tucking into her gift basket of fruit and veggies at the Berlin Zoo on Friday. The veterinarian says she has no teeth, so her treats are cooked. Otherwise, she's in good health despite typical age-related aches, pains, and stiffness. Fatu is a western lowland gorilla endangered in rainforests. The Nintendo Switch 2 has been unveiled in London. Gamers there got the sneak peek at the coveted new system as it pre-sale in the US was delayed. The Japanese-based company is pausing the rollout as it figures out the